Welcome back to the Willis Podcast. How's everybody doing? How's your day? How's your Thursday? How's every day? How's any day? Anyway, I hope you had a good day. I hope you learned something today. I hope something today meant something to you. As long as you didn't make the headlines. But check out today's show is the truth behind the headlines. Yeah. We're going to talk about this. The truth behind the headlines. Because because what you see is it ain't always what it is. So, do you believe everything that you see, everything that you hear, everything that you know, everything that you think of that you see in the news is correct, or perhaps it's right, or in particularly even true? They flip flop and swap headlines. Shit. Check this out. A headline is only a few words. That's why I call it a headline. They got to get your attention. It's to gain attention. It's only a few words. But those few words can shape how millions of people think before you even read the damn story. Your mind is already set, decision is made up. All you got is the headline. That's enough. I know what that's about. No, you don't. Have you read the story? Have you read in between the lines? Do you know what's going on? Have you read the follow up? Did you see that there's a pattern in whatever has happened? Things don't just happen. You have to follow the conception of it when that shit started developing. Check it out. A headline is an emotional trigger. Just comes at you fast. Oh my God. Oh, damn. Really? Yeah, it's an emotional trigger. Oh, shit, that happened. See. But with a president like Donald Trump and this government that we have right now, and this is not a political show, this is just showing you how this theater keeps goddamn orchestrating and going on and on. It's fucking theater. But they got to keep you into these headlines. So what we got going on with this government is like, keep them shocked, keep them wore out, wear them out mentally, give them PSD, break them, destroy them, tear them down, make them submit to anything. A million Americans have been free, and we are entirely too resilient to be broken down. I mean, yeah, you can be broke, but you won't be down. Not about speaking up about things that actually matter, especially, when you don't know the resilience of an actual people. You have to understand the resilience of a people to break them down in the first place. And for some people, it would work, but you got to know that people. America is a conglomerate of a lot of different people. That doesn't mean everybody's American, but hey, let's keep on moving on. We got somewhere to go here. The truth behind the headlines. See, the thing is, we even take for the shows that we do and, the energy that we put into our podcast and the energy that you put into media, the energy that we put into our shows, a lot of energy and effort that goes into this because you got to be able to give people a message. So you got these fabrications and alterations of how energy is supposed to be and how we're supposed to interact with each other. Let me check my sound real quick, my people. Let me do that. Yeah, okay, we're good. So everybody's a little off because everybody's a little edgy. Everybody's a little on edge. Everybody's a little, tensed. Some people and some of us aren't. But it depends on how you, you hang in there. How you muster up the intellectual fortitude to figure out a way to eat, feed your family. But y'all thought I was gonna say some like take something from somebody. No, you gotta figure out a way to eat. Everything's changing. The society is developing into something that's new. And when something develops into something new, they gotta keep a lot of headlines up. See, this development becomes because There's a lot of shit happening behind the scenes. There's a lot of deals being made under your nose. A lot of shit that you don't know about. You got to look in between. You got to look in between the fabrics and the seams of this society that in this world that we live in. It's a lot of shit going on. Allegiances are different. Alliances are changing. Exposure is on a continuum. It's gonna be some more shit being exposed too. A lot. See, a lot of people get caught up in whatever their specialty to get caught up in, whether it be the Epstein files or you want to get caught up in the war of Iran, you want to get caught up in, all of these different elements that are, damn sure is big enough to pay attention to. But you have to look at the root elements of why these things are happening. There's a reason. I'm not going to sit up here and give you no tinfoil kufi shit. I'm just going to tell you the truth. So keep listening. Check this out. They don't need to control the whole story. You know what I'm saying? Just the first impression. It don't matter, it doesn't matter what as long as you're entertained. So it doesn't matter, until it really matters. But are you preparing for when it matters, if it matters, or are you prepared for whatever happens? None of us are, for real. Yes, some of us are. Yeah. Some of us are. And some of us also have skill sets, not to take, rob, and destroy other people, but to actually have systems and tools and apparatuses and networks. Yeah, to stay alive. But I will tell you something about this world we live in. We live in a world where people don't need, they react. They react to everything. Social media spreads headlines instantly. Here goes somebody reacting. Oh, shit. What am I going to do now? Have you verified it? Do that first. Verify your situation first before you go to reacting. But people even are so emotionally distraught and emotionally immature. It's a lot of emotionally immature adults. I've seen grown adults act extremely emotionally immature, and their children have more emotional maturity than their parents. But nevertheless, emotions replace logic with some people. It's when you have a lot of inferiority stored up in you. You get anxiety, you get emotional, you can't react, you get angry when things don't go your way, you start acting like a fucking child. You didn't grow out of it. So fast reactions create slow understanding. I hope you understand that. A fast, twitchy reaction, but breathe and wait a second. Beep. Slow down. Okay, wait a second. Now check this out. Take time to understand the situation. Evaluate it. Learn it. Understand it. How did it happen? Walk yourself through it. And do it again. But you have to interpret things. In a multitude of ways, you have to interpret things properly. You just can't live through life acting as if everything is supposed to just jump out at you. No, everything isn't a headline that you need to know. But you keep paying attention. You keep paying attention to those. So let's keep going. Let's get a little bit more intricate. The real story ain't always in what's said. It's in what's missing. It's the shit that you don't see. and the things that you don't hear. It's always what's missing. No context. One-sided narratives, when people just be like, "Well, damn, that don't seem quite right. There's something missing in this so-called big story. It ain't quite that big, and it's a whole lot missing." Selective information, perhaps. When they have these big old stories on the news about some type of crime or homicide or some big bust, it never translates properly. Something's always missing. The story never comes out as efficient as it could be because they're skewing the narrative. Just saying. Just my thoughts, man. If you leave out key details, I can guide you to any conclusion I want to. All I got to do is pick and choose. That's all I got to do, pick and choose. And I can lead you and guide you because it takes skill, right? It takes skills to persuade and to manipulate and to make people react and behave on impulse, out of fear, out of not knowing, out of being inconclusive or denial, or they're just plain gullible. Don't have any real wherewithal. Seriously. But check it out. Division is profit. As long as it can be a headline. Check it out. Why do headlines always feel like they're pushing people against each other? Always and continuously. It's always pitting and pushing people against each other. Why is that? Because conflict equals engagement. You guys all know that shit. That's why you always all this clickbait content on YouTube. Yeah, we all do it, of course. It's what make you view us. Yeah, it's a channel. It's what make us react with each other. You dig? You understand what I'm saying? I know you do. Engagement equals money equals influence. Yeah. But everything doesn't have to be so, or does it? I don't know. We just talking. We just having a conversation right now. We're just opening you up to make you think about some things that should come to mind. But real talk though, division keeps people distracted, and distraction keeps people controlled. As long as your ass is distracted, you will never know what's going on, and ain't nobody got to tell you either. They're showing you, but you're not really paying attention. You're not. You have to pay attention beyond the things that you feel only matter to you, because the things that matter to that person over there that you think you have nothing to do with, well, that shit gonna be affecting you in a minute too. It's kind of how that goes. Check it out. At some point, you got to stop letting headlines stink for you. You really do. It's really a good thing if you stop letting headlines dictate how you feel about people, the world, and you might want to start looking at what's missing. That's where your real information is. Read a little deeper. Question people's motives and control your emotions. See, the problem is people buy into shit too soon. Always, oh, shit, I know what happened. Oh, calm down. Just calm down. You haven't even taken in the environment or the setting. What do you know about the location? What do you know about the people in the location? You study worrying about the headline. Okay. Next time you see a headline, don't just react. Just pause a second. I want you to think about it, right? Just think about it. And then just start ask yourself some questions. To be honest with you, see, I just need you to really understand the truth is not always what's loud. That's not always the truth. See, it's what's hidden. It's always what's hidden. As you see on this podcast, that's where we find the truth. I make you think differently so you can come up with better conclusions, better shapes of mind, better ways to think. Most people are controlled by headlines. They won't wake up. Headlines are far more dangerous than you think. I promise you they are. They keep your heart fluctuating up and down, always thinking that's something. And then you actually hit a story and it's just meh, some bullshit. Or it ain't all the way complete. Or they always tell me I keep you posted, keep you updated. When they already know what it is. As I told you the night before, bro, it's a stage. It's a stage. It's been a stage. Let me see what we want to get into. How long we got? How long we gonna do tonight? Let me see. All right. If you haven't seen these books, you need to get familiar with this. The UCC Connection: How to Free Yourself from Legal Tyranny. Common Law Handbook from Jurors, Sheriffs, and Bailiffs and Justices. Meet your straw man and know whatever you want and know whatever you want to know. Happy is a man that findeth wisdom, and a man that getteth wisdom, that getteth understanding. So these are all very handy books that you really should think about. It's not a headline, but it keeps you out of them. You got to think about things like what is your straw man? A straw man is a fictitious legal entity created with the hope that as a child grows up, he will be fooled into believing that he is actually a straw man, which is most definitely is not, and pay all sorts of imaginary costs and liabilities within which attach to the straw man by con artist. So, how is a straw man created? Well, the mechanisms involves that unnecessary birth certificate, which the parents imagine is about and belongs to. So, the baby, neither of which is actually true. If the baby has been named James and the family is Martin, then you would expect the birth certificate to have the name James Martin printed on it. If that it's what's is printed on it, then all is well and it is a genuine birth certificate and nothing more. However, if any more than a name is there, then the document is not a birth certificate, but instead it is a creation of a straw man masquerading as James Martin. The alternative entries might be any of the following examples: James Martin, Mr. James Martin, James, Mr. Martin, and anything else which is not exact. James Martin is nothing else, allegedly. So understand a little bit about who you are. You start from there. Also about the Uniform Commercial Code and the connection. Read you something out of here. Admiralty or maritime law. Admiralty is a civil jurisdiction of compelling performance, which has criminal penalties for not adhering to the letter of a contract, but that also applies to international contracts. Let me read you another section of this. Hold on a second. Let me get you this first. The Supreme Court on trial. Whoa, 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 whoa. Public law, public policy. All right. So, Section 3 is public law versus public policy. He said, name any decision of the Supreme Court after 1958, and I'll honor it. And all decisions you read were prior to 1938. He went on, prior to 1938, the Supreme Court was dealing with public law. Since 1938, the Supreme Court has dealt with public policy. The change is that Mr. S was being tried for the public policy statute, not public law. And those Supreme Court call cases do not apply to public policy. I asked him what happened in 1938. He said he had already told me too much. He wasn't going to tell me anymore. 1938 and the Erie Railroad. Well, I began to investigate. I found in 1938 there was a year of the Erie Railroad versus Thompson case in the Supreme Court. It was also the year that the courts claimed that courts claimed they blended law and equity. I read Erie Railroad cases. The man had sued the Erie Railroad for damages when he was struck by a broad sticking out of a boxcar as he walked alongside of the tracks. The district court has decided the common law negotiable instruments law that the man was not under any contract with the Erie Railroad, and therefore he lacked standing to sue the company under common law, natural law, which he was damaged, and he would have had the right to sue. This overturned a standing decision for over 100 years, Swift versus Tyson in 1840, with a similar case in the decision of the Supreme Court. Then was that in the case of this type of court would judge by the common law, natural law, in the state where the incident occurred, in the case with Pennsylvania. In the Erie Railroad case, the Supreme Court now ruled that the federal case will be judged under negotiable instruments law. That would be no more decision based on common law or the federal level. So here we find blending the law with equity. This was a puzzle to me as I put these new pieces together in reasons that all courts since 1938 were merchant law courts and not common law courts. There were still pieces missing from the puzzle. These are the things you have to find out. So, common law. Get this one too. Common law handbook for jurors, sheriffs, bailiffs, and justices. Remedy for every jury. William Blackstone, a legal maxim. Every right, when withheld, must have a remedy. Every injury is proper redress. Is proper redress. In the third volume of the commentaries, page 23, Blackstone states two cases in which the remedy is afforded by mere operation of law. In all cases, he says that in the general and indisputable rule that where there is a legal right, there is also a legal remedy. By the pseudo action of the law, rather, the right is invaded. And afterwards, on page 109 in the same volume, he says, I am next to consider such injuries as are cognizable by the courts of the common law, and herein I shall, for the present, only remark at all the possible injuries whatsoever that did not fall within the exclusive cognizance of either the ecclesiastical, military, or the maritime tributes are, for that very reason, within the cognition of the common law courts of justice, for it is settled and variable principles in the laws of English that every right where withheld must have a remedy. Every injury had its proper redress. Marbury versus Madison, the government of the United States had been empathetically termed a government of laws and not of men. It will certainly cease to deserve the high appellation if the laws furnish no remedy for the violations of the vested legal right. Oh, now that says a complete. That says everything complete. That says an awful lot. That's Marbury versus Madison. 5 U.S. 137, 1803. So, with every law, with every wrongdoing, if a country is governed by laws and not men, what in the hell are we doing right now? What the hell is this? All right. You get where I'm going? So, the truth behind the headlines, that the headlines don't mean shit if you're not going to do anything about them. You can put everything on the headline to distract people, but who's going to do something? Who's going to do the work, the real work? Who's going to make something happen? I don't see nobody doing shit yet, not for real. I want to see it happen. I want to see someone do something. Because this shit is completely out of hand. You understand what I'm saying? So, the country is weak because you don't respect laws. The country is weak because you practice too much, white supremacy. The country is weak because you practice too much awful foreign policy. This country is weak is because you take in weak people. The country is weak is because there's too many mediocre people that enjoy and love mediocrity. That's the truth behind the headlines. And that's the show tonight. It's the Willis Podcast. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. We're up. We carry ourselves a whole hell of a lot better than some people out here. So shout out to the wonderful people of the world that do good, that want to be the best being that they can be. It's a lot of craziness that we gotta overcome, but it starts with you being a better you. So watch out for them headlines. Don't make them. Don't make the headlines unless you're doing something good to make the headlines. You know what I'm saying? So that is your show tonight. That's what you should be thinking about, man. Everything that they show you, everything that shit you be, oh man, what the fuck? Most of the time it be some bullshit anyway. You better read between the lines and look. Some things need to be unveiled. Think about the truth for you, not what the shit people give you. That's the show tonight. I love you people. Thank you for tuning into the Willis Podcast. And once again, you know that's the favorite part of the show. The wheel is yours. Be cool. Be peaceful. Stay true to you. I love you guys. Be easy. Peace.